Good morning. It rained, kind of. We've had 0.04 of an inch since I left last night. That's not enough to keep us out of the fields today, so a couple of things going on. One, we're going to try and shell some corn here this morning, I think. Phil is hauling the last load of beans that we didn't get in the bin into the elevator right now. Dad has got to get our ripper hooked back up to the 9R. He's done with his dirt work stuff. Sorry I didn't get to film any of that for you, but they're going to spread our chicken litter today. The rest of what we've got piled in the fields, so we need to start working that in immediately once they start spreading. So that's Dad's plan for the day. We're doing a little shipping today because we canceled our DTN service that we used to have, which was outrageously expensive for outdated technology, but kind of nice to have because it was instant weather and markets and that kind of stuff. But anyway, they want their stuff back. So Dad's currently climbing up on top of the barn, getting the receiver off of the satellite dish, and we're gonna send it back. I don't know how much 15, 20-year-old technology, satellite receiving technology is worth. It cannot be worth very much. Probably not even what it costs to ship that stuff back to them. But it's in a box, and they're paying the shipping, so send it off. Anyway, we got to get the combine out. It's not raining right now. It looks like we've got a break in the rain for 5 or 6 hours till 2 or 3 this afternoon. And so we're going to go shell some corn. We've got 35 acres just down the road that I think is dry. Be a good place to start. So we're going to do that. We got to get the combine switched over, get the corn head hooked up, and we can go. All right, we got our corn head hooked up. It's just sprinkling a little bit. Wouldn't really stop us from doing corn, but these stalk stompers here, one thing that I really do not like about these stalk stompers is how hard it makes to hook the head up, because this feeder house here has to drop down in order to get the hooks, and so you catch these right here on the top. I do not like that at all. That's why I'm wondering, I know in the directions they talked about a way to mount them forward of this beam, like up in here. So we might have to try that and adjust it this winter, but I'm afraid of what it will do for clearance actually setting it on the header cart then. So I don't know. We'll have to experiment, but it's not great the way that it is. Well, this may be against my better judgment, but let's go shell corn in the rain. We're just right on the edge of a little cell that's gonna skirt by us here, and then it's gonna clear off for several hours. But there's a big line forming on the west side of Indiana, so we haven't actually gotten really any rain. It's just when the snouts are wet like this, stuff sticks, and that's no fun. But I think we'll have a window here. It should stop raining in the next 10 minutes or so, and it'll dry off. We'll be okay. All right. Why aren't my green tank covers opening? There we go. I should have all the outside settings changed. Fully closed. Open. That's going to be a problem. Road mode is active, that's why. You're smarter than the combine. Smarter than the combine. Now they're actually moving. There we go. Gotta be smarter than the combine. All right, anyway, once we get that opened up, we should be good to go here. And we're just gonna make a round on the ends and then let Phil come and pick us up, and we'll get some stuff moved over here, a cart and a truck. Made a round on the ends here. We went and got the grain cart. We need to open up the rest of the ends so that we got room to put trucks in here, and Phil's gonna come pick me up. We'll get another truck, and then we should be good to go. We should be able to make rounds here. This is a short field, quarter-mile rows instead of half-mile long rows, so we should be able to just park the cart on the end and dump into it. Brock is working his real job today, and Dad is going to get the ripper going for ripping in that chicken litter. So we're on our own for harvest today, just Phil and I, which is fine because we're close. The farm is right over there. Can you guys see it? Grain leg over there. And I can make rounds, so he should be able to keep up hauling. I should be able to combine by myself, and we'll try and knock this 35-acre chunk out here before it really starts raining. It is done raining, has quit, and it's not really clearing, but clearing a little bit. It should dry off for us for a few hours, and we'll be good to go here. So this hybrid here is 104 day. It's a shorty, but it has excellent standability and stalks. There won't be much for down corn out here unless it was coon or wildlife caused. We're still working on Endros or Haggy tracks. But once we get these opened up, we're gonna go get another truck and go from there. It says it's around 18%. That'd be awesome if it's around 18%. So we'll see. And I'm excited to make a trip across the center of this field because, I mean, the yield, right, there it says 150, 158, but a second ago it said 230. So it's variable, but it's good. But the end rows are thin. That's why it changes so much on the ends. Once we get out going that way, it should be consistently pretty darn good corn. All right, we've got everything moved. Let's see what we've got out here. $205, $215, $228, $230, $250. Yeah, good corn, real good corn. We will take that. This was early planted. It's this is a well-tiled farm, pretty good, kind of tiled like that one is now. We do not own that one, but the guy bought it a year ago and tiled the heck out of it after they chopped corn on it this summer. So anyway, we're gonna see what we get. And it looks like it's going to be okay. Who knows how close our yield monitor is. We'll, again, use scale to verify everything, but we should have good corn. Given how good our beans have been, the corn should be pretty darn good. Now he's got to start off with end rows and making the yield number as low as possible, so there's nowhere for it to go but up. Thin spots because it's wet, because of the water coming out of the trees. Down corn, it's all wildlife damage, coon, deer, squirrels, all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, that'll kill an average in a hurry there. Don't get the stick. Try not to get too close to the trees. Yeah, fun stuff. All right, I have a question for all the hunters out there. In a field of corn where this whole corner has clearly been eaten off by the deer, hold on, does dumping piles of corn on the ground actually work? There's a whole bunch of corn just scattered right there, all down there. Like, it's a buffet out here. You think that's easy? Does that work? I don't know. All right, well, we got those back ends done. Our yield has dropped to 165, so we'll see where it goes from there. That round, the load on the rear back ends by the trees here where it was all really bad was like 125, I think it said, for the average of the load. That's really bad, but that's what happens with trees. You can see it up here on our map. All of this, just these trees right here, was terrible. And clear over there in that corner, or by those trees, was also bad. Where there was no trees in the middle, it was good.
Building a lane down here.
So you may know a couple of times I've said that we try and keep the weeds down, but I've gotten there first on harvest. I didn't get there first on this one. They chopped a row of my corn for a little ways there. You win some, you lose some. It's all right. Might be the only unload on the go pass of the day. The loss levels look fantastic. And I did look when I was out on the ends there. There's not much there. Dry. It's good corn. Average for this load is in the 220s. Yep, that'll do. That'll do. That yield number is going to climb rapidly. What were we, 165? I did a round and a half. We're up to 176 already. Yeah. Gonna be a fun one. Look, we're even getting some sunshine now. Sun's gonna come out. What a deal. Stopping and dumping on the end does slow us down quite a bit, but we're not in that big a hurry today, and it keeps us moving where we're actually getting something done, so that is okay. Last round there, 231 at 18.8 moisture, 18.9. We will take that. Man, if this field does anywhere close to that, I will be so thrilled. We're up to 193 average. We're only done what, 2-3 rounds since we did those back ends, so it's climbing rapidly. We're moving along here. We've got 13 acres done, so it's gonna take a little time out here, but wanted to show you a couple of things. One, I pulled up our fungicide application map. This field is a split. We had loaded up a load of fungicide with the Haggy when he was spraying that, sprayed out a couple of other fields, and then I told him just to come here and spray it out until it was gone. Well, that was where it ended. So you can see us right there. We've got a few more rounds moving that way before we get out of what was sprayed, and it'll be really interesting to see if there is a big yield drop-off or not. That said, this stuff is still incredible corn. Yeah, it's amazing how good this corn is, and you can see we're still dropping off along the trees there, but once you get out into here, it's all green. Our field average is still climbing rapidly, and this is the load average, but it continues to climb as the corn finishes through the combine. Like, let's look at the last rounds. We're on 12 now. Number 11 was 236. Number 10 was 244. Even if we're off by 10%, who cares? Like, those numbers are just phenomenal. And we're not off by 10%. We may be off by 2%. I don't know. So this is a lot of fun. I was a little skeptical on the corn. I had been pretty optimistic on it all year. But after our beans were so good, well, we'll see about the corn. I mean, that gives you hope, but it also kind of makes you wonder if maybe the corn's not going to be as good, but apparently it is. Gotta empty the cart. We didn't quite get 1,100 bushel, but we're close. Oh wait, maybe we did. 1,100 would be what? 1,000 is 56,000. 100. 6,000. Yeah, we got her. We got more than 1,100 in there. Think it'll all fit? I doubt it. So we are right on the edge of where the fungicide split was. In fact, we're in this kind of partial, and we may have part of a header width where a couple rows that were here got sprayed and a couple over here didn't. But watch when we get up here by where he actually shut off. There's a pretty distinctive plant health difference where these, this doesn't look bad, but the top leaves are brown and shriveled up, and they're just darker. That's the tar spot that's in there. You can see it on the plant residue a little bit more out here, and then as soon as you get about right there, it changes, and it's right where we got into the fungicide, right in here. All of a sudden, it's brighter. The leaves are wider. There's more material left there. And pretty clear, evident symptom, I guess, of our fungicide application. So all of this did get sprayed, and we'll see if there's a yield difference. My map's not showing it too great, but you can see we're a lot more green over here, and we're starting to throw a lot more yellow in. So there may be something to it, but judging by that scale, I need to raise the scale so that I get more color in there to see if it really shows up more or not. But it's still really good corn. This is sprayed, so our round is averaging 212 instead of 230, because that pass over there that I took wasn't in the fungicide at all, so only a quarter of this round instead of all of it. So yeah, that's good. We spent a lot of money on fungicides this year, so it would be nice in these situations to see where it actually paid off and that there is a significant yield return from doing so. That would be very good. So we'll be able to analyze it better on the computer and stuff, and see once we get more of the untreated stuff done. But hopefully there's a return here. Okay, so looking at my map a little closer, we're actually right on the split right here, on the edge of the head. So treated, not treated, and then if you look up there, like, I can see it from here. It's right there is where he ran out. The far side didn't get done. The low ground in here did. It shows up plain as day. That's a result. Now it just needs to translate into yields. All right, so I know this is not exactly scientific, but hang with me here for a second, right? So I got the list of loads from this field pulled up, and we go all the way back to the beginning can see the ones where we're doing end rows, but then we got into the good corn that was sprayed with a fungicide. 235, 244, 236, 235, 242, 232. And then we get a 220 that was partially sprayed, partially not. But then look what happens. Look at our last few. 214, 217, 215. There's a 218, a 223. Current one, 186, but that doesn't count because we're still adding it up. So so we went from in the, what was that, 230s a lot, 233, 240s, so 235 to 240 average, say, to 215 to 220 average. So that means that our fungicide, according to that, seems to have made about a 20 bushel an acre difference. Yep, that's a good sign because we sprayed a lot of fungicide. I mean, we put it on the vast majority of our acres. There's just a few fields where we've got half of a field like this or something that didn't get sprayed, or one or two fields that didn't get any. Most of them, the whole fields got sprayed. All right, what do we got here? 26 acres done, so 9-ish to go. We've got, there's a wet hole down there that we've always farmed around, kind of in this general area. And so we are going to, after this round, we're going to go over there and do that around, because the rows start here and then they just kind of curve all the way over to this corner, and there's 32 rows there. So they're going to come out into these rows somewhere right in here, and I'd rather get them off before I start cutting across the rows. So we're going to go do that. Typically, that first pass along that low ground is the best stuff out here. I've seen 300s on the monitor in that area before. It didn't get sprayed with a fungicide this year, so we'll see what it does, but that low ground is usually pretty productive. There's some muck in there, some organic matter, high organic matter stuff that, yeah. Oh, one other thing that I was noticing, our moisture has dropped. We're in the 17s here, which is good. But then I thought, wonder if that was a fungicide related deal. And look at all the most recent loads, 17.7, 17.8. And then when I go back to the ones that were higher yielding where we did spray the fungicide, 19.2, 18.9, 19.0, 18.5. So the non-sprayed corn, in addition to being 20 bushel less, it's a 1.5 drier. Maybe, yeah, 0.2 to 1.5 drier. So I mean, that's good, but I would take the yield over the drier corn any day. I don't know if I can drive straight. Let's see what our instant does here. Some pretty good numbers. Chasing out the wildlife. I don't know how to call it livestock. I don't know. It's 2 days in a row. Anyway, there was a rabbit and a pheasant that I think we're going to get again here because he just flew into the rows right in front of me. See if it goes flying. I don't know where he went. Oh, there's a bunch of coon damage though. Huh. All right, well, we are just finishing this one up. It is about 2:30 and looks like the rain is about an hour and a half out yet. So I'm not sure what exactly our plan is, but we have a few other things that need to get done. So we may just park the combine, put it back in the barn, wait for the rain to pass, and do some other stuff here this afternoon. So this is a good piece to get out and get done and have out of the way. I mean, we did almost 35 acres here. Average 211, which may sound low from some of the numbers that I was showing you earlier, but look at our map. I think this map shows pretty clearly that over here where we sprayed the fungicide was much better than over here where we didn't. And then you see this back in here, and well, there's some clay knobs back there that's it's behind this hole back that way. It's not real productive ground. And also, this is going way back, but about 1.5 years ago, you guys may remember, we had wheat on this field, and I had a field where there was a visual difference in the wheat, and we decided or figured out that the fertilizer retailer that does our spreading for us ran out of the wheat fertilizer that they spread, and just didn't do it. And that's the area that didn't get spread, and I think it's showing up in the yield right now on that corn because it didn't get that broadcast fertilizer that it needed 2 years ago, and it's still behind because of it. So and then you factor in the trees and everything else on the sides. Yeah, I'll take 211. That's not too bad. So we're gonna see if we can get this all on here and then onto a truck. I don't know if it's gonna fit or not, but we'll get it back. It's dry. Some of this stuff is down under 17%, and it's gonna, I don't even know why we're putting it in the dryer, well, but we are, which is fine, but it's gonna fly through it. We're gonna be putting out a lot of bushels per hour out of our dryer, and it'll work it through pretty quick, so that's good. Of course, the sun's gonna come out now. I put the combine in the barn. We're gonna see if it rains here in a little bit. I got a few other things we need to do, including this mess of wire over here that needs to be dealt with. So this summer, we were having some work done on a downspout, and they had a crane set up in here, and they hooked that conduit right there. And well, we got the conduit fixed, but we never pulled the wires back through. So we got to get that done because this runs our drag conveyor on the top of this bin that fills our big bin. So we gotta get that fixed. Way up on the dryer watching. You probably can't hear me with the wind blowing, but we're just making sure the corn's moving by where we had our fire a week or two ago, week and a half ago. It's the first we've really used the dryer since then, so I'm just watching to make sure the corn is moving, which it is. I wish I could see in those corner vents a little better. There's a lot of cob in there, but it's moving. As long as everything is moving, I feel okay about it. There's not near as much cob in these other ones. The corn's actually really clean, it's just it all flows to the sides, and that's probably what happened before, was the cob just flows to the sides and then it eventually bridged itself up there. The rest of these all look good, and you can really see it moving. Well, the dryer is cranking out some bushels, and we're still coming out too dry. We're 1,655 bushel an hour. That's good. It's going to keep coming up. I bet we're up to 2,000 here in a little bit because the corn's going to get drier going into it, and it's going to try and get that up to 15 there is what we're shooting for. All right, back to our wire pulling. We got to pull those wires up through that conduit. We've got two wires in there that were a 110 circuit we're going to abandon because we never hooked it up. It's been 5 years, so we're just going to decide that we don't actually need it. We're going to use those to pull these up through there. So Phil's up there. I'm going to give him a call on the radio here and say, go ahead. All right, Phil, I'm ready for you to pull. Just kind of go slow so that I can watch it and tape up any bad spots.
Okay.
Take a minute to get that started. Take two. There, it's at least started. All right, they're in, and the wires are out up top. We got to get this cover put back on, but I don't know where the screws are, so we'll find that, but we got to go hook it up top. Oh, it's a long climb, but stairs sure are nicer than a ladder, I tell you what. Okay, we got our wires up to here. We just got to make some connections. All right, my wires are a little long. I didn't want to cut them too short, but that should work. So now I gotta get Phil to flip my breaker for me down there. We'll hit this, and then he can turn it on, and we'll make sure that it's running the right direction. If it's running backwards, we just have to flip 2 of those power wires, and it'll rotate the other way. Well, my wires were backwards. It's super dusty coming out of there. Alright, yeah, flip the breaker. I'm ready for you to bump it whenever you get to the button. So we're watching to make sure those panels. We do want them going up on the bottom side, right? Pretty sure. Again. Yeah, do it again. Yeah, that's right. Well, we got our thing working there. Look, we're up to almost 2,100 bushel an hour. It's just flying through that dryer, which is good. So it did start raining again a little bit. I think it's stopped now, but we got stuff wet again. The rain that was to the southwest of us is mostly dissipated. Doesn't look like we're going to get much, but there is another line coming through later tonight. We're not going to go back to the field. It's 4:30. I am, however, going to go get my computer that I was unable to get the other day because stores don't open until 11. They stay open until 8 o'clock at night, so you can go and get it. So I'm going to go do that. We're going to take Phil to Berkey and have get that third semi up here. We're going to need it if we're going to go up and do the irrigated field, which is my plan. I climbed up in here to see what our dryer looks like, and we just shut it down. Where we had the fire. Totally normal. That's good. Dropping Phil off to get this truck. He should be good, so I think I'm gonna go unless he needs my help. See my cousin's sweet old truck. Used to be my uncle's. My cousin kept it. Pretty sweet. Very large greenhouse facility that appears to be becoming an even larger greenhouse facility. Holy cow, that's a lot of greenhouse. Wow. Right across the road from the steel plant. I believe they share hot water or something, and there's a little deal where they work together there, but I'm not sure on that. All right, I'm back. Got my computer. I'll show you tomorrow what they did. It's ridiculous. Thanks for watching today. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and we will see you again tomorrow. More corn tomorrow. Rain should be over. We're gonna hit the corn a little bit harder tomorrow. See ya.